Knight, the real Jeremy Knight. If you were at our event last week, we're going to do a full recap. We did Elite Agents Austin. We had 8 speakers.
Oh, yeah.
We had a lot of fire information for all those people that like young lingo, fire information. I was just texting one of the speakers before this, Ian, and they said, wow, I go, how did you feel about the event? And she goes, I felt really good because Byron scared me into motivation. So,
oh my gosh. Yes.
Yes. So do me a favor, wherever you're coming in from, drop a comment below. Did you attend the event? Did you like the event? Drop a comment. I want to hear from you. This will be available for replay. If you want the slides, we do have the slides available from the talks. So, and if you have questions, drop it through. Ian, we had 8 speakers. Who was your favorite?
See, that's not fair. That's really hard. They were all incredible. I think I'm going to go with who I think I needed to hear from the most. The person I needed to hear from the most was probably Will Draper for me. Specifically because I've heard a lot of the speakers, but Will, some of the tools can absolutely accelerate any real estate agent's business if you employ them.
Robert Anthony says, awesome event, great info. Robert, I don't think I got to shake your hand and kiss your baby. Is that what kiss baby? I kept telling you, when people were coming in, I was shaking babies and kissing hands. So I don't know if that's the right verbiage there, but thanks for everybody jumping in. So real quick, yesterday I filmed the thing with Tami. So we're going to have a full video with Tami Price. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, subscribe. I will put it back out this afternoon. Will Draper and I and Ian filmed one. So all the AI, we'll do a full breakdown. We're filming Monica Church tomorrow. We're filming Byron this afternoon. We're filming a lot of the full breakdowns. So what we want to do is go through some of the slides, some of our takeaways, and in the comments to help us out, the takeaways from each one of the speakers, put it in there. We're going to put it up on the screen. I would say really my favorite, I would say one that I would implement right away is probably Tami's talk. This is something I've been working on in Austin, which is the Google Business Profile. So that was one. Lana's talk was really, really good as well. There's just so many little things. Like here's the thing. We go to events like this, Ian. I know.
Whoa, I just lost your sound. Okay, I'm just making sure. I was like, wait.
The whole point of the event, as I was saying, is to implement small pieces in your business, and it's a layer cake, right? The whole point of this wasn't to basically everyone was drinking from a fire hose, right? But all these little things are little things you can implement. I was thinking about this at the gym on Monday. I was like, I want to do this from the event and that from the event. And the problem most agents have when they do an event like this is they try to do it all at once. And then when they don't do it right, and they don't do the small incremental increases to get a bigger business, to really implement the things, they throw them off the side. Like for me, Google Business Profiles is one. Byron scared the crap out of me really because, we're doing well, but his talk was like, hey, get back to work, go back to work on Sundays, go back to work. It's not going to be easy, different level of hard. Joanna was there. It was great to see you. Joanna flew out from Baton Rouge. So let's get into it, Ian, if you don't mind. Who was our first presenter and what was the main talk from them? Can you hear me, Ian?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So who was the first talk and what did they talk about? And I'll start pulling up the slides.
So we have Lana Rodriguez was first. Lana Rodriguez was first, and hers was building a referral-based business. And she always crushes it when she does this talk. So I would say as far as things that I need to implement, this is a big one. So anytime Lana puts on events, anytime Lana deals with nurturing her clients, she put all of that information into this presentation. It was very, very good.
Yeah. So Melissa is going to be doing a lot of this with her clients and implementing this tomorrow at lunch. So Lana talked about getting back to the basics in Q3 and Q4. And part of getting back to the basics was really mining your database. And this is something I am super weak on, right? I am terrible at getting back to my basics. But one thing she talked about, Ian, and I don't know if you've done this, is creating a Facebook group for all your past clients.
No, I think that's something that is highly valuable for everybody, especially when you're doing events or get-togethers. You can put it in one place. You don't have to like search for everybody, and email doesn't work the same. So the Facebook group is really powerful that way.
Yeah, I love that, the Facebook group. You know, she had a lot of slides and she talked really, really fast. So I plan on doing a follow-up with her. But basically, she said, find your raving fans in your database, the people who like you and trust you, and your acquaintances, and then everybody else delete. So focus on your A, B, and C people, right?
I think people gasped when she said delete. You're like, I can't delete anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's important because there's people in our lives I think we need to delete that we spend time on that we shouldn't. Mm-hmm. And that's where she said that, I was like, oh, great. And I deleted like 19 people, right then. So basically what she was talking about with these pop buys and everything was creating raving fans, getting reviews, putting them on Google Business Profile. We'll talk about Tami Price in a second and Google Business Profiles. But what else did you take away about creating raving fans?
So I like that she has the create your own BNI group instead of trying to plug into one. And it doesn't have to be BNI. There's tons of networking style groups. And so like in Austin, we do the Real Cafe as an example of a networking group. And so anything that you can do that gets people to get together frequently ends up creating business opportunities. And so that's such an undervalued execution strategy.
Yeah.
Undervalued strategy.
And I like, the platforms, you get back to communicating with the platforms you're on most, right? Where are our clients at? They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, DM them, monthly newsletters. How many of you need a monthly newsletter?
That's what I was going to ask. How many people in the chat have actually created a sustainable monthly newsletter? Something that it goes off without a hitch every time.
One thing we have at Real is Chime. And what I love about Chime is that you can build these out really, really easily. And then you could take those same emails and plug them in a Google Business Profile and create a whole Google Business Profile like update, like Tami, like we talked about in the video that's going to come out with Tami. And so Joanna says she does weekly things. I'd be curious, Joanna, what CRM you use to put that out. I found that Chime is super sticky. It's interesting to me, Ian, every time I use Chime and send out emails through Chime, my database responds. And guess how often I send out an email?
Ooh, I'm gonna guess either once a month or once every 2 months.
Yeah, once a month. So if I have people respond to me, do you think I should up that to like twice a month, maybe 4 times a month?
Depending on who you listen to, aka Jimmy Mackin, it could be multiple times a week, but we'll get there in a second.
Yeah. So the private group we talked about a little bit there. Creating raving fans. So her fans will go on there and say, hey, on the Facebook group, hey, I love this, I love that. Interacting, putting in polls.
The polls are huge.
Polls are so important. I think if you really want to gain engagement and get people going, do that. Here's a good one, Ian. What did you take away from her favorite apps?
So edible arrangements, I think, are pretty neat. But Linktree, I think Linktree is something that a lot of people are using. You have to go back and forth whether or not people want to go through the work to click on it. But what it is you create one link and it gives you access to all of your other profiles. So let's say she has an Amazon wish list that she wants to share with people. That can be on your Linktree, or favorite books. That can be on her Linktree that everybody gets to see. So it's an easy way to share with your sphere.
Yep. Then she really went through the birthday and home anniversary mailers, just sending a Starbucks gift card, just the little things. I mean, when's the last time you sent Starbucks gift card? I went to a listing appointment last week. So if you do this, let me know. Drop a comment below. I went to a listing appointment last week, Ian, and you know what the guy said to me?
What's that?
I love that you guys send us a lottery ticket every year for.
Oh yes, yeah. What date do you do that?
I do them in March. Actually, Eileen does them in March, and I totally forgot that we did that, but they didn't forget. So
I'll tell you what. I actually lost a listing or lost a purchase because their realtor gave them Starbucks gift cards every month. I was like, okay. I mean, it was years ago, but it's pretty interesting. It wasn't you, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
I've just got to clarify that.
Tami says she sends them regularly, birthdays, after the appointment, just because and more. I'd be curious, Tami, if you write in the comments, what do you think your rate of ROI is on that, right? So if you spent $2,000 a year on those gifts and that stuff, what is the actual return on the investment? Lana talked about holiday parties and on all that stuff as well. I want to keep moving forward and get to the next presenter, but those were some of the big takeaways. What other takeaways did you have, Ian?
I think the biggest thing to me was the events to consider, that link, that list of events. So like a summer bash or a movie party, pumpkin patch, trunk or treat. Those are the types of things that are easy enough for you to put on. Other people can sponsor it, and it brings the community together. So it's just, I'm sure it's highly appreciated, very local, right? Which is something we're always talking about. So I see a lot of value in those. Yeah,
no, I totally agree, man. So the next speaker we had was Will Draper. My brain hurt with Will Draper. I totally clicked off. Oh God, here we go. All right, I found it. So there we go. So my brain hurt with Will Draper. What were some of the big takeaways for you with Will Draper?
I think the first one, I think it's the first hack that he talks about is the plugins for ChatGPT. Everybody knows that ChatGPT is a popular app and it's free and it's an AI tool that can do a lot of things for you. But the plugin part of it is incredible. You can plug in all sorts of things like web, for example. So if you add a web plugin, not only does ChatGPT take all of the old things on the internet, but that plugin adds anything new in the last 2 years, anything current on the internet. So you can have it search through current and former articles to come up with your YouTube topic or an Instagram reel. That is huge to me.
Yeah, and like the big one he talked about was ChatGPT. Obviously, this is one that we could all use, but it wasn't like, we hear about ChatGPT and who in the comments is using ChatGPT effectively. Ian and I did film a whole thing with him. That'll come out this afternoon as well. I just got to get a thumbnail made for it. But we hear about using ChatGPT, but we don't really know how to use it in practice. And one thing, Tami's in the chat, and we did a full video with Tami. Tami really talked about how she does her updates, a lot of her marketing pieces. And what Will's going to talk about in the recap Will did was talked about how he creates his entire marketing plan just off ChatGPT.
It's incredible. It's incredible how much ChatGPT can do for you once you set up the profiles, which is another thing that he had talked about. You set up kind of an avatar. So if you want to speak to an elder millennial that works in the tech industry and is looking to move to a place in Austin, Texas, you can put all that together and that becomes the profile. So anything you ask ChatGPT to do will learn and incorporate that profile for you.
Yeah. Robert Anthony Group, living in South Texas, says he uses as well. He says, thanks to Tami on Google Profile. Joanna, absolutely. Will change my life too. And I didn't even know this existed on there, is the web access to ChatGPT. That was what was really impressive to me. Because you can use that tool to, bring in links. So I would have to copy and paste an entire link. You can Google the link from there and then put the link in and say, give me a full breakdown that I can write to the 8th grader can understand and make it so I can put a blog post out of it. And then you put it on Google Business Profiles. And then one thing he really, really talked about too on this was how he built out, and I'll put out the video later today, but how he built out literally his marketing campaigns using that. And he just retooled. His marketing campaigns used to take him all day. For the following month, he used to take him all day. And now it takes him 2 hours.
Yeah. You're talking about when he did the Instagram growth strategy?
Yep.
Yeah. He went from something like 5,000 followers to 38,000 just by following ChatGPT's recommendations for a content strategy. And he did that in 6 months in preparation for this event.
So I have a video that just came out today, Ian, and I could pull it up real quick and play it, but I don't want to mess with the analytics on it. But this is the one I think that Will told me about like 3 weeks ago, and I've always had issues with my editor and audio. You're always going to have it. It doesn't matter what editor you use or whatever. He uses this now on every single video, and it sounds buttery smooth. So basically, you just run your audio through there, and it will fix
So this is what Adobe Enhance is going to do for your audio. So as you can tell right now, I do not have a microphone hooked up to my phone. It is directly out of the phone microphone. Now let's do this again, but let's run it through Adobe Enhance. And now this is what Adobe Enhance is going to do for your audio. So imagine if you were on the road shooting video in the neighborhood, in a house, out with clients.
So I love that a lot. The Captions app we went through on our video yesterday. The Captions app, I didn't realize you could have it where your eyes stay focused on the screen.
That's all new. They didn't have that before, because we used to use this app, I mean, years ago, at least a year ago, and all that stuff is just added. So he's been paying attention to these AI features that have been implemented, which are incredible.
In a second, we're going to talk about the broke agent and his talk. If you can, in the chat right now as we're going, write your key points for him. That way we can just get right to the key points that you liked in his talks as we finish going through Will's chat here. But yeah, I use the Captions app, and I usually use it for just creating captions for my videos. And literally, as he was saying that yesterday when we were doing the recap, I clicked on this little right button, and it was like the entire world changed for me.
It did.
Everything was right there in that. In fact, you can edit them down even and make them more like where it zooms in and out and gives it more depth. So I found that really cool on Captions app, and that's what, $9 a month for Captions app. Not very expensive. Yeah, see the features on the bottom here. I had no idea. I had no freaking clue. All I do is that little button right there, that purple button. Click it, and I had all the access to this. It's crazy. Crazy. Munch. You liked Munch a lot. Talk about Munch.
Yeah, Munch is one of those apps where you can basically take a piece of long form content, let's say 10 minutes of video, and throw it in this AI app called Munch, and it will clip it all for you and break it apart. So that way now you have a few shorts that you can upload whenever you want. So it's a lot easier than trying to hire a video editor and say, pick this out, and explain it. It knows. And I think what it does is it chooses high engagement sections of the video to create those breaking points.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that because I've tried doing that. I'll take long form and try to edit it down. I mean, if you look on this, it's kind of, I guess, a little bit hard to see on this, but if you're looking at the right side video, it's nice and vertical. All of those other stuff is kind of zoomed out and horizontal, and it creates it like that. So pretty impressive stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say that too. The fact that you have it long form, you can do long form shorts for like Facebook and LinkedIn and Google My Business profiles, and you can do vertical shorts for your Instagram, your TikTok, and a few other apps. So you have the choice to do both, which is huge.
Yeah, that was, what's interesting about this, Ian, is the first two presenters we had were both with Real Broker doing things at an amazing level. Tammy's been in the chat. If she's still here, Tammy's doing amazing things. So one thing that Byron talked about in his talk was community. So if you are searching for a new community and you're searching for people doing things at a very high level, look, Byron said in his talk, you really need to focus on surrounding yourself around people that are doing big things. Byron's not even at Real Broker. So Byron and the broke agent have nothing to do with our brokerage, and they were there really supporting us and helping us. So really great that they said that. I want to keep talking about Tammy's still here. I want to keep talking about Will, but to save a little bit of time, we do have a full video that I will release this afternoon. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel or Ian's channel, subscribe, and it'll come out later this afternoon. So subscribe to both of those channels. Let's talk about the broke agent. Tammy, what did you like about what the broke agent said? In the chat, if you saw the broke agent, what were some of the things? And Ian, I'll let you start with some takeaways you had.
Oh, so I think a big thing he was focused on was branding. We talked about mistakes, right? And he said one of his biggest regrets was actually calling it the broke agent because it's contradictory. So even though it was funny, it helped him grow a following, there was no like plan for it. There was no monetization. There was no growth strategy. And I think he's relating that to a lot of agents and their business. They can create their little name or their little brand, but turning that into something that is recognizable and actually makes sense for their business is huge. So I think he wants people to focus more on that.
Yeah, you know, we didn't really go into Will's strategies for that. I highly recommend watching that video later today. But you know, he gave some brief strategies. You know, focus on. It's basically the same thing we've been saying. Focus on the avatar that you're going after, right? Focus on make content for the people that you're trying to attract, right? So have an idea. And the cool thing is, let's say you went into ChatGPT and said, "Look, I'm trying to grow an Instagram strategy and a branding strategy. What should I be doing?" And asking that in ChatGPT, I think that would help you as well, because maybe you don't understand what your client base really wants, you know? And so that might be something as well. Tami Price, who was there and was just freaking amazing, says, branding was my big takeaway, monitoring the brand and who is using it, i.e. Matt. I don't know who Matt is. Who is Matt? Matt. Okay. And then also Mindy New at Real Broker. We haven't even done a full like announcement video for Mindy.
Hey, Mindy.
She was there. So I know this isn't a big plug for Real Broker. We really want to go over this stuff, but we're just really excited about the community we've built here. So the broke agent, what else did you take away? I mean, I felt like it was a really good Q&A session with him. And then we went into Jimmy Mackin.
Yeah. The broke agent was, you know, he answered a lot of questions again about branding, but not just, I think what people do is they focus on their branding and not who they're reaching, right? Like who their target audience is. And so he tied those together really well too. So not just who you are as a brand and who you show up to as the world, but also who are you, like, what are you trying to accomplish? Who are you trying to reach and work with? So, and I think you had just commented on that a little while ago.
Yeah. So Jimmy Mackin, for everybody in the comments.
Oh, that's funny. So Tammy's talking about if you Googled the broke agent, a guy named Matt came up. So Matt is Matt Leonetti. Matt Leonetti is a hilarious guy, but what he did is he kind of cornered the Google algorithm by putting the broke agent talks about X, and Matt is part of Broke Agent Media. And so he just did a really good video that is still ranking at the top. So anytime somebody types the broke agent, Matt Leonetti comes up.
Yeah. You know, I look at my brand and that's something I have to work on, right? Because my website is Austinite Homes. My Google business profile is Jeremy Nightly Knight. You know, my stuff is all over the place, the Knight Group. So my brand is all over the place. And so it's hard to pin down what my brand really is. And so that's something that made me focus on too. And Sonia in the comments here is going, Jeremy, I'm here to help. She's great.
So mine is Ian of Austin across everything, across website, across Google, across TikTok. It doesn't matter. However, it's still a kind of a pigeonhole, right? Because I'm stuck in Austin. You can't really mold that anyway. And it doesn't actually tell you who I'm trying to help. It just says Austin. You know, it's not like it's not covering all of Texas is where I was going to go with that.
Right. Now, Jimmy Mackin was next. Jimmy Mackin, he continually blows my mind. One thing that him and I have talked about is a Chime plugin that they're building out. And if you're still in the comments, drop a comment. Let's keep the comments going. I want to see you because that helps us figure out what you liked, what you didn't like. So make sure you keep dropping comments in there. But Jimmy Mackin has a plugin that's going to be going into Chime, so you can actually integrate that to send out through Curator. And so what I loved about his talk was really just still same thing. I feel like everybody said the same thing in a different way, which is get back to the basics. And in the mail campaigns that he would do, I think would really help a lot of agents because, like I said, if I have like past clients in my database that I'm only hitting once a month, and I hit them 4 times a month, and then 1 time a month I'm hitting them with a card or something, and that touch, that's just going to stay more top of mind. and then I'll get more referrals out of it. But I'm not doing it. So what other takeaways do you have?
Yeah, Jimmy is a master of creating emails or even text messages or even videos based on those emails that convert, that increase your open rate, which a lot of people will create these email campaigns, but we'll take them directly from Chime, right? And I'm not saying that's wrong. It's still better than not having them, but he shows you how to craft them to where you get just a little bit better of a response. Do you remember the Zillow one? That one was huge for me.
Yeah, Robert said the ZMA. Talk about the ZMA.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so the ZMA was basically asking if I could get you this, or do you agree with this number that Zillow's showing? Would that be of interest to you to be able to have a conversation about it?
You know, there was a talk yesterday at Real. We have Sharon Shabbat has put on this whole event talking about how to get business in a down market. And yesterday, what I found really interesting is Jason Cassidy was talking about going into Google Maps, take all of your clients' addresses, put them into Google Maps, and then overlay that with homes that have just sold. So take the homes that have just sold and overlap it with so like if you took the last 7 days of sales, you take that and then you put into a Google Maps and then you put in all your clients. You could do pretty much the same thing with the ZMA. Hey, I saw this home next door just sold for this. Google says your house is worth this. What do you think? And that's it. Just leave it an open question and not even ask like, hey, do you want me to list your house? Just what do you think? No, that's crazy. I would never sell my house for that. Oh, okay. If you would never sell your house for that, what would you sell your home for? Yeah. What's new in your life? So I like the ZMA. What else from I mean, Jimmy was tough because it was a full hour and he wasn't in Austin. We had to zoom him in. So that's why we don't have his slides here. Well, what else, Ian? What else from you that are watching right now?
Yeah, a lot of what Jimmy was talking about was just, like I said, creative email strategies. But so we do have a video that we're going to be, that will be available for Jimmy's recording. And again, it's a lot of these email strategies. But what's curious about him is he said you can take all of them, turn them into text, turn them into reels, turn them into QR codes, and all of them should be something you can replicate across any platform, which I think a lot of people are wowed by the email portion of it. But if you can take this and do it to your reels and turn that into the whole campaign. So let's talk about the ZMA strategy, for example. Like if that was your reel and then, or your YouTube strategy, and then that just became an ad on YouTube. I'm not proposing that everybody creates ads, but if that just becomes an ad that you are geo farming on YouTube, that could be huge. That could be insane.
Yeah. I mean, I don't do a lot of ads, but I mean, you could do PPC ads. You could do a lot with it. And so I think that's something to think about as well.
Well, you know, you could even take that strategy and leverage like Google My Business and as an update. Hey, the neighborhoods in this area, the ZMA is showing X, and you post that as an update. And it's just another way for people that are going to your account to see something that's curious, get them talking.
Yeah. Trying to pull up Byron's talk. So Byron came in after Jimmy. For you in the chat that watched Byron, other than him scaring you to death, which he did a great job of, and not purposely. I mean, the thing with Byron is he was just very himself and very matter of fact.
While you're doing that, does anybody remember the Mosquito Joe comment?
Oh yeah, Mosquito Joe
with Jimmy.
Yeah, talk about Mosquito Joe.
So Mosquito Joe, it was basically a guy that who goes by Mosquito Joe who had knocked on Jimmy's door, and Jimmy answered the phone, and Mosquito Joe he just says, "Hey, I helped your neighbor over here and helped them." I don't remember how it goes. Help them get rid of their mosquito problems, and the mosquitoes have to go somewhere. Yeah. I think was the point of it.
Yeah. So he said, hey, look, I just went over and sprayed their homes for mosquitoes. They have to go somewhere. So I'm selling a service. They're going to come to your yard. So if you don't get a service, you're going to get mosquitoes in your yard. And Jimmy's like, well, shit, I better sign up for your mosquito service then.
It's a spillover.
So if you think about your marketing that way too, it's got to be everywhere where people really find no other, like, they don't think of anybody but you, right? And so that's why you have to attack it from so many angles. Joanna said, I love Byron. I like the rawness and how he delivered the message. And here's what Tami said. And Tami's comment was legitimately his entire thing. For the last 2 years, Ian, I'm responsible as well. So I'm literally at home. He basically, and this is something he's been preaching a while, but he basically said over the last 2 years, people have been stuck in their homes. They've been in their homes. You need to be out. You're not going to meet people and introduce yourself to people sitting in your bedroom. There's so many agents that are losing business because they're sitting in their bedroom. They're bedroom agents. They're not going out to coffee shops, sitting there. One strategy he has long purported is go to the same coffee shop, same restaurant, whatever, spend every single lunch there for an entire 30 days and introduce you to the staff, introduce yourself to everyone, introduce yourself to people that walk in the door, and you will get a lot of business out of it. Now, I do this because I go to, and I said this in our talk, I go to Cosmic Coffee all the time. I tell people I'm going to Cosmic Coffee. I'll post I'm going to Cosmic Coffee. And guess what happens every single time I'm there? I talk to somebody. So where is somewhere, I want you to write in the comments, where is somewhere that you can go every single day for 30 days in a row and get business out of it because you just showed up?
And I think it's important to note that he's not saying you stop doing your videos from the bedroom, right? He's just saying that it's more important that you spend time with people, because in a world where we had this pandemic and everyone was stuck inside, that's what everyone expected. That was easy. But now we're back into the world of we need to shake hands and, what'd you say, kiss babies?
I said shake babies and kiss hands.
There you go.
I messed that up.
Oh, yeah. Minnie brought up a good one. He did say that.
Yeah. And so Joanna said the same thing, because this is exactly what he said. And I'm not kidding you, man. We spent how many days last week, like hours and hours a day setting up for that event. Thursday, we were running around like crazy. We did the boat thing. And then you and I spent all day Friday at that event. I didn't get home until 12:30. Saturday, I had a listing appointment at 11. I had showings after that. Sunday, we set up for an open house. I shot 3 hours of content as well. And then I went to a baseball game for my son. So what he really said that's really important is agents need to start working the weekends again, doing open houses, doing the little things, going out and meeting people. Did that hit anybody directly in the face when he said that? Mindy said she started working every weekend. Joanna was working. She was back in the office. Ian, what did you take away from that?
Oh, exactly that. So if you used to get business from open houses, I'm betting it wasn't during the week, right? I'm betting it wasn't during the week. So whether you have a team or yourself, calls. I don't know if it was Jimmy or Byron that said this, but they were both talking about how many more calls Zillow gets on the weekend specifically. Yeah. So that's when people are answering their phones.
Right. And that's something I run into too, because like we get a lot of leads over the weekend. You know, you could set up a Google phone with your phone number and give that to whatever agents are on your team. Say, hey, this weekend you're in charge of all the leads coming through. Do you think an agent that is new on your team that wants business will sit by that phone and wait? If it rings, they're going to answer that phone over the weekend. And especially if you're running ads during the weekend, like that's the thing. Run ads on the weekends. Don't run ads during the week. Run ads on the weekend because people are searching on the weekend for homes, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, especially like open houses and stuff that they're not visiting during the week. So if you have any ads for open houses, that would be a great one.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked what he said about community. Obviously, because we have a community here. And, you know, I think it's really important to be able to plug in to somewhere where you're getting really good advice, whether it's real or somewhere else. Like the people you surround yourself are going to help you. Like a prime example, I've surrounded myself with the people at BAM because they do a lot of really, really good things. I have no affiliation. Ian has no affiliation. And this morning or last night, Byron was like, hey, look, I know you've been doing Real Migos with Ian. I know you're running these shows. I can't film the hot sheet today because of this. I have to film it the day of because the information for it comes out. Can you do the hot sheet? I was like, hell yeah, man. I would have never had that opportunity had I not surrounded myself by people like Byron. So I think it's really important you surround yourself by the right people.
Kind of the same situation. They gave me an opportunity to put my course that I haven't finished yet, thanks Tami, on to BAMX. Like, just being in proximity breeds possibility. You just need to be near people.
Yep, I love it. So the next speaker that we have, so any other feedback you have for Byron, drop it in the comments below. Mindy's the last comment like 5 minutes ago. So where's everybody? Do you all go to sleep? All right. We had the next speaker, Ian, right after Byron. Who was it? It was somebody named Tabitha. Oh, that's right. Tami Price, Google Business Profiles. What were your takeaways with Tami Price?
I don't think anybody questions what Tami is capable of sharing with the world. So Tami has been able to build a business. I'm not going to call it a side business, like what would be a respectable business for free just with Google My Business, aside from her existing business, right? So she ended up having, I believe it was like 13 listings and, hundreds of thousands of dollars in GCI, just because she's really good at being consistent at posting on Google My Business, on her Google Business profile.
Yeah. I wonder if I can share this better, but yeah, so she had on here that just from Google Business Profile, 11 million, 1.1, 11 point, it's a long day, 11.1 million, which is 332,000 GCI. How many of you would like to implement Google Business into your business and make that basically as a side piece to your business, right? Like all of us that focus on video, you cut up your short video content, you put it onto Google Business, you make a little ad through there. You don't even have to run an ad. So Joanna says, I love Tami talking about herself in third person. Was a key takeaway for me. Very simple and very effective. So let's talk about some of the Google Business Profile. And we have a video. You know what? As soon as we end this, I will put the video live because it's ready to go. I'll put Tami's video at noon. That way, right when we finish this, so you have it. But so we'll give you quite a bit more information of what she went through. But this is what got me going. 93% of local searches triggered by the map pack. So having an office space or having a location on the map really does help. She even gave a story, and like one of my favorite stories she tells, I've heard it several times and I love it every time, is how she was leaving her office and a guy found her on Google and walked right in her office and then bought a home. Like, how impressive is that? Well, we all need a side piece. I mean, look,
if you're on fire with the zingers today.
Profiles, look, if you have Google Business Profiles bringing you a 300,000 GCI, and then let's say you have Instagram or like those 300,000 GCIs, you take 4 of those, it's $1 million business from just putting in 4 pieces of business. Like if you took some Lana stuff and that creates 300 GCI, you have hers and that creates 300, that's $600,000 off just two things. Like, who would like $600,000 in their bank account this year? I would love it.
Everybody.
Yeah. If you don't want $600,000, write the amount in the post, in the comment section. What is a dollar amount you do want, and what are the things that you're going to be willing to do from this event that are going to get you those extra business? So Tami, so do that right now. Put that in the thing, and we're going to keep going. So here's what she was talking about. So brand recognition is really important. Improved ranking, more clicks. Let me go to the next one on here. Have a business strategy. Make sure everything is keyword rich. So you could use Google Business Profiles for this, right, Ian?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can even incorporate, like we were talking about earlier, ChatGPT, to make sure that the keywords that you want to use, like top realtor, best realtor, real estate agent, locations, can all show up in there. Yeah.
She mentioned, and again, she's got a full, we got a full 30-minute video with her coming out. Name, occupation, location, house. So use nouns, use verbs, use modifiers. Tami is the top. Here we go. Tami Price, Properties Group, brokered by Real Broker, San Antonio, Texas. It's got all the major words in her title alone. She shows up, she shows a location. Now you can do a service area if you don't have a direct office. So service areas work as well. But it would be good to have, it might be a little better to have an actual office. So Tami has an office.
I love that. And look at all the things that you can update. That's what's so crazy is that a lot of people might just do a post or might focus on reviews. But you have services, attributes, Q&A. Q&A is probably one of my favorite because there's a lot of people, like if you ever look for anything online and you can't find the answer, you ask a question. That question lives and it becomes searchable. And you can even write your own question that people are going to want to ask. So you can go to ChatGPT and say, hey, what are the top 50 questions about real estate agents or on how to buy a home or how to sell a home, and throw those in and then answer those for yourself on your own profile.
Yep. Tami, you have a course link. Go ahead and throw that into the comment as well.
Do it.
Yep.
I think it's at the bottom, the last slide.
It's the last slide. One thing to keep an eye on too is your analytics, right? If you're posting stuff that's not giving you engagement or views, maybe change up some of that, but keep an eye on where people are coming from. This is all pretty good information here. Google. So this is basically so I use Google Business Profiles. If you do too, this will show you just kind of how to jump in and create products and all that good stuff. But business categories, real estate agency, real estate agent, real estate consultant, brokerage can be helpful to look up for these strategies used for your competitors. So yeah, and that's the other thing we all have to do is look and see what our competitors are doing.
And I think it's important not to just look at not only your direct realtor competitors, because they might not be where you want to be, but just look at other companies too. So like if Zillow has an office near you, because they do have places near people, right? Or maybe even like a Berkshire Hathaway or some other brokerage, how are they managing it, right? Because it's not only the single real estate agents. Sometimes you have the bigger companies that you're going up against as competitors.
Yeah, and so her slides are available as well. We can make those available if you need to reach out and talk to Tami. I will give you but there was a lot on here. I mean, service list photos, videos, updates we use. You could create products. We talked about this in the video that goes out tomorrow. Like I created we had a VA create like all $1 million homes in this community, and we've gotten leads from that way. They come right through our website. So attributes as well, what your business does. And then I'll leave this up for a quick hot second, but I'm sure you can find Tami Price's course online as well.
She posted it down below too.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Who was next, Ian, after Tami? It was
Tre Serrano.
Tre Serrano.
So we have two people that focused on building a YouTube presence that have done it very well. So the first one is Tre Serrano, and he's very much a tactical, get it done. Here's how I did it. Yes, it's local. And he's an elite agent with Real Broker.
So what's really great about Tre, and I feel like everyone should take a little bit of inspiration from Tre, because we all say we're going to do something. We all say, I want to do this. I want to do that. Tre's done a really good job of finding out what works and then taking it to the next level. So I remember a year and a half ago meeting with Tre, going over his YouTube channel and creating the strategies that would get him business. And he went from he struggled. It is amazing. And this is one of the things I really wanted to talk about when I'm talking about YouTube, is that YouTube's just not that I have business. Same thing with Google Business Profiles. Same thing with sending mailers. It's all about consistency. And he's a model of consistency. But he had 500 subscribers, got a little bit of business. 700 subscribers, got a little business. And I told him, when you get to 1,000 subscribers, I tell everybody this, be ready to hire. Be ready to hire before you get to 1,000 subscribers, because the leads are going to come through. He got to 1,000. It took him a year to get to 1,000. It took him less than a month to go from 1,000 to 2,000. Now he's sitting about 13,000 subscribers on the San Antonio website or YouTube channel. And so the thing that's impressive about that too is he hired a full-time video guy, pays him $5,000 a month, somewhere around there. And they put out content every day. So they take his long form content. So this is the really big thing. Everybody wants to create short form content. They want to do because it's easy. Short form content's much easier, a lot less time consuming. But he created this really good channel. He's got this long form content that builds trust. And then people will click on the shorts, they'll watch the short, and then they go to the long video, and then he's converted them to a client. Because now that they've seen the long content, they're all over the long content. The shorts drive people to the channel, but the long form keeps them there. Go ahead, Ian.
I think this is the question you asked, because I know I felt this and I know you felt this. How many people have reached out to you because of your YouTube channel and said something like, I've watched all your videos?
Every day.
All the time, right? Like that is so powerful. Like people will sit and watch hours of you like you're a TV show. And then they come to you knowing your life story and they're ready to buy a house. There is no conversation about it.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull up this thing. Yeah, and I think that's the important thing. Like, and you're building trust. And when those people come up to you, Ian, and they found you on YouTube or whatever, are they mean?
No, they're not. No, we've had a couple trolls over time online, but when people meet you in person, they're usually falling head over heels over getting to meet you for real.
Yep. And it happens. it happens where they are so excited to see you that they don't want to leave you alone. So that can be a problem. But like, here's a prime example of talking about. This is at 1,000 subscribers. These are his older videos. Not very good thumbnails, awful titles. This is all stuff he just had to learn over time. And so now he's creating better thumbnails, better titles, and you look at his channel now. 30 total volume. Is that 30 million views? Not that many. It can't be that many.
No, those are dollars, man.
Oh, this is what okay. So
yeah.
Year to date, he sold $30 million in real estate with 926 GCI, team net commissions 228, and total agent payment of 557. So this is what he's making from just running YouTube in his business by capturing different categories. So look, again, I said he's the executioner, and then he put it in there for me. He is the executioner.
Executioner.
Yeah. The need, the want. So the idea is always the need, the want, the retention. The video is the structure, your words, the B-roll. So B-roll is like that stuff that's over the top. And then the release is thumbnail, caption, description, ending, chapters, all to connect. So the chapters we can talk about another time, but that does help. So here's an example. He typed in San Antonio. He pulled up just information. So this is why people are always asking about what content to put out. He went to there. What do people ask? Look at that. This is what people are asking. Is it better to live in Houston or San Antonio? So he found what people are looking for. Now he's going to take that and he's going to create a video out of it. Okay. And then he went to ask the public, answer the public. This is another good one too. San Antonio. Here's his passwords, everybody. If you found value in any of the stuff that you've heard today, write a comment. I want to hear from you. Here's another good one. So answer the public. This is a really good one. I've done this to find video ideas for Austin in the past. So this one, are San Antonio Spurs good? So that's a good one. Google San Antonio real estate news. So, I mean, you can pull any of this stuff. So this is all really good ways to find the content that you need. So I like that a lot. And then the comments, it's okay for people to get upset and argue in the comments because it just helps the video out even more. You really want to create engagement with the video. So ask questions in your videos. This is really what he was talking about. Structure of the video. I mean, look, here you go. He pulls up different articles and basically he just talks about different articles and how they relate to different neighborhoods. Pretty simple. Does that sound overly hard to do, to come up with video content ideas?
No, it's probably one of the easiest things to do.
Nellie's going to steal JP. So same three-way split. Yep. Yeah, and I just like how Tre too has created all this short content out of it. It's very entertaining, and all it is a repurpose of what he's already talked about in his long form. So, all right, Monica Church was next. what a darling, what a sweetheart. We're gonna interview her tomorrow, Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
tomorrow afternoon.
So if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, I highly recommend you do that, because we're gonna, and Ian has a second channel as well on here. Ian, what's your second channel?
It's called Real Agent Answers. I've been commenting in here.
Okay, Real Agent Answers. Oh, that's your three-way split. Okay, yeah. So that's Ian's second channel. Subscribe to there too. We're gonna put the videos on both so you can find them easy. But yeah, so we're going to interview Byron later today, and then we're going to do that. So those are all going to come out on these channels. So if you want to see more in depth of each of these speakers, this is kind of like just a quicker overview. But what are some of the really good takeaways from you and the crowd that watched? And Ian, what were some of the good takeaways you had from Monica?
So Monica, she's one of those people that switched careers midway through. So she built multiple YouTube channels. She's also an OG. She was on YouTube since she was 13 years old back in, I don't know, 2010 or something, maybe even before that. But because of that, her insights, I think, are really valuable. I think the biggest takeaway for me is that she's good at the way she tells her stories by moving locations, right? So, you know, a lot of people will throw B-roll up to show different locations and stuff. She would actually start having a conversation and do it a couple times so she knows she has a good take, then go to another spot. She would get in the car and drive or walk to a park and then talk about the park, and then walk to a bridge and then talk about the bridge, where most of us bedroom agents will throw a B-roll up that someone else took off of a storyboard or something like that.
Yeah, and it's just a different way of doing B-roll too, right? So when we talk about B-roll is, as I'm talking, you put up a picture over your face, so it's not your face. And I'll pull up one of my videos right now to kind of give you an idea. But it's a really good way to get, you know, people engaged in the video, to keep them there longer, because what does YouTube want more than anything, Ian?
Well, it wants retention. I think one of the benefits of the way she does it, because both are highly valuable, I think one of the benefits of the way she does it is that now it just increases the trust, because she's not just saying what she's saying, she's doing what she's saying. Right. So she's showing you this area like, hey, I'm actually here. I'm not just making it up. And I'm not saying that we are, but there's no doubt, unless it's green screened, and then that's a whole other conversation.
Well, so here's an example. Let me remove this. I'll give you an example of a video that we literally just put out today. So it gives you an idea of a different way to do B-roll versus the way she did that. Window. Oh, no. Yeah, this one. Okay, here we go. So are you seeing it on there? Perfect. So can you hear that, Ian?
No, I can't.
Oh, man.
There you go.
So many of my clients reach out and they ask me about communities where there's tons of amenities, great location, great schools. And sometimes they're like, Jeremy, I don't need to be close to downtown Austin.
See how it's me talking, but then it's just talking about something else. So,
but notice what you did there. You were standing in front of the sign for the overlook.
Yeah.
Right. Like that shows that you actually have visited the location, which automatically builds trust for people. And then they know that you're giving the information that's valid.
Yeah. Perfect. So I love the way she did that. I found that a lot of people resonated because, you know, the way I have done and the way he has done, we're talking about Tre a second ago, the way we've done it is more just all informational, where hers is a little more vloggy. And so just trying to give you a different way to do it. Now, the one person that we talked about but didn't have talk was Raj Sahu. He literally does just walkthrough videos. They're not my style of video at all. This isn't me saying anything bad about him. I am so angry that they work so well. Because I put in so much effort into my YouTube channel to have a guy just walk through and do a voiceover. And at the beginning of his videos, he just says, I may not be the agent for you. And you're like, what? Why not? Why would you not be the agent for me? So really, really great stuff with that. But literally and I'm creating a third channel now that's all about just video walkthroughs. So all those things work. All right. In the comments, anything else that you took away from the entire event? We talked about Monica. She was great. What else? Ian, what else, man?
Let's see. I don't have her slides up. Let's get her slides up.
Monica's. Okay, Monica, present screen. Oh, I don't have her.
So a big thing she said is focus on pulling things together, like platforms, but not too many. So she says, if you're going to do YouTube, maybe a good pairing would be Instagram, right? And we all hear this but what a lot of people do is they say, oh gosh, now I have to be on LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And she's saying, no. There's no way you can be effective unless you have a big team behind you or you have implemented some kind of AI. Just focus on the one or two that you can leverage right now. And then you don't get overwhelmed. Another thing that she talks about is what type of content you're focused on. If you're funny, then maybe you can do entertaining content. But if you're dry as a bone, then you're going to have to focus on analytical or informative and educational content. So that's what, when you were talking about Raj, that's one thing he does really well. He doesn't try to be funny. He just gives an overwhelming amount of detail, so much so that a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house takes him 20 minutes to go through.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. But it works well because people know when they meet him, he knows all of the finite details about the property.
Right. So there we go. We're right at an hour, Ian. I want to thank everybody that did come to the event. I want to thank you for all the hard work. I want to thank the people that helped us, the people that showed up. We appreciate you. If you are not at Real and you're considering a community change, give us a call because we'd love to chat with you and show you what we're doing differently. Other than that, thanks for showing up. We'll see you again. All the other videos are coming out, so we'll keep them posted. So keep your eye out on this channel and Ian's channel.
Thank you, Jay.